So good day guys, today I'm gonna discuss to you the chapter 10, the LAN security concept. Network attacks today. Distributed Denial Service or DDoS, this is the coordinate attack from many devices called zombies, with intention and degrading of halting public access to organization website and resources. Data breach. This is an attack in which an organization data servers host are compromised to steal the confidential information. This data breach is the um, a attack which is the confidential of a secret information has been get. Malware. This is an attack in which an organization host are infected with malicious software that cause a variety of problems. Network security devices. Various network security devices are required to protect the network perimeter from outside wireless. Endpoint protection. LAN devices such as switches, wireless LAN, controller, WLC, and other access point or AV devices, interconnected points. Most of these devices are susceptible to LAN-related attacks that covered in this module. Cisco Email Security Appliance. Content security appliances include the fine-grained control over email and web browsing for organizations. Black known these threats. Remediate against slant malware that evade initial detection discard emails with bad links. So in this Cisco email security appliance, this black known threads is they can block these appliances full grain for the email. Cisco Web Security Appliance. The Cisco Web Security Appliance or WSA is an imitation of technology of web-based threats. It helps the organization address these challenges security controlling web traffic. The Cisco WS combined the malware protection appliance and visible to control acceptable use policy control of reporting. Authentication with local password. Many types of authentication can be performed on networking devices and each method offer varying levels of security. A better solution to have the devices refer to the same database of usernames and passwords from central servers. AAA components. AAA stands for authentication, authorization, and accounting. The AAA concept similar to using credit card as shown in the figure. The credit card identifies who can use, how much they can use, and spend account of items, services, expense the purchase. Authentication. A local store username and password locally in the network device such as Cisco, router, and authentication against the local devices are shown in the figure. Next, authorization. Authorization is automatic, does not require user to perform additional step after the authentication. Authorization govern what user can do and cannot do to the network after they are authenticated. This authorization, as you can see and as you can read, the governance is not is can say or can instruct the user to what can what they do and what cannot do in the authorization. Next is accounting. AA accounting collects the reporting usage data. This data can be used for such a purpose of auditing billing. Collected data might include start and stop connection time executed command 802.1x. IEE 802 standard for the stands for port-based access control authentication protocol. This protocol an authorized workstation from connecting a LAN through the public accessible which port is authentic. Good morning guys. Today I discuss to you about the chapter 11 which is the switch security configurations. Secure unused port. A simple method that can many administration use to help secure the network from unauthorized access is to disable all unused port on a switch. Mitigate MAC address table attack. A simplest and most effective method to prevent MAC address table overflow attack is an enable port security. Port security limits the number of valid MAC addresses allows on a port. It allows administrator to manually configure the MAC addresses for a port to permit a switch and dynamically learn a limited number MAC address. Enable port security. The switch port security command was rejected. This is because port security can only configure on manually configure access port or manually configure trunk port by default layer 2 which is the port are set dynamically auto. Therefore, in the explain, the example of configure which is Sport Mode Interface Configuration Command. Limit and learn MAC address. To set the maximum number of MAC address allowed on a port, use the following command. Default port security value is 1. The maximum number of security MAC address can be configured in switch and iOS, in this example in 8102. Port security aging. There are two types of port security aging, which is the absolute. Absolute is the secure addresses on the port are deleted after a specific aging time. Inactivity. The secure addresses on the port are deleted only if they are inactive in a specified aging time. Port security violation mode. If a MAC address of device attached to the port differs from the list and secure addresses, then port violation occurs by default. The port enters an error disabled state. To set the port security violation mode, use the following command. This is the command for the port security violation mode. Switch, open parenthesis, configure dash if, close, hashtag, switch port security violation, parenthesis, protect, slash, restrict, slash, shutdown, parenthesis. Port in error disabled state. When a port shut down in the place in the error disabled state, no traffic is sent or received on the port. A state of the port security related message display on the console. Administrator should be determine what causes of security violation is an authorized devices connected to a secure port. Security threat is eliminated before enable the port. Verify port security. To display port security setting for a switch, use the show port security command. The example indicates that all 24 interfaces are configured with the switch port security command because the maximum allowed is 1 and violation mode is shut down. No more devices are connected, therefore, the current ADR count is 0 for each interface. Step to mitigate VLAN hopping attacks. Step 1. Disable DTP auto-trunking negotiation on non-tracking ports by using the switch port mode access interface configure command. Step number 2. Disable the unused port and put them in unused VLAN. Step 3. Manually enable the trunk link on the trunk port by using the switch port mode track command. Step 4. Disable DTP auto-trunking negotiation is trunking port by using the switch port negotiation command. Step 5. Set the native VLAN to a VLAN another the VLAN 1 by using the switch port trunk native VLAN slash underscore command.
So good day guys, today I'm gonna show you how to the chapter 12 of the WLAN concept. Wireless NICs. Wireless deployments require the minimum of two devices that have radio transmitted and radio receiver tuned to the same radio frequencies. And devices wireless NIC, network device such as wireless router, wireless AP. To communicate wirelessly, laptops, tablets, smartphones, and even latest automobiles include integrated wireless NIC, incorporate the radio transmitted receiver. However, if device does not have an integrated wireless NIC, then USB wireless adapter can be used and shown to the figure. Wireless home router. A wireless home router is commonly implemented in small business or residential wireless access device. The wireless router advertises wireless services by sending beacons containing the shared service and identifier or SSID. Devices wireless discover the SSID attempt the association of authenticate with an access of local network internet. The most requires provide advanced features such as high and speed access, support video streaming, IPv6 addressing, and quality service, configuration, utensils, and USB port connecting printers and portable devices. Wireless access point. Wide range extenders are easy to set up and configure. The best solution would be an install another wireless access point to provide dedicated wireless access into the user devices. Wireless NIC discovered nearby apps advertising their SSID. App categories. There are the standalone devices configured using the command line interface or GUI as shown in the figure. Autonomous or APs are useful situations where a couple of APs are required to organization. A home router is an example of autonomous AP because the entire AP configuration reside the device. If wireless requirement is increased, APS would be required. Wireless antenna. Omnidirectional antennas such as the one shown to the figure is 360-degree are ideal houses, open areas, conference room, and outside areas. 802.11 Wireless Topology Modes. Wireless LANs can accommodate various networks topologies. The 802.11 standard identifies two main wireless topology modes, ADHOC mode and infrastructure mode. Tethering is also a mode sometimes used to provide quick wireless access. BSS and ESS. The BSS consists of single AP interconnecting all associated wireless contents. Two BSS are shown in the figure. The circle depicts coverage area and BSS, which is called the basic service area or BSA. If wireless client moves out of the BSA, it could no longer directly communicate with another wireless clients and within the BSA. 802.11 Frame Structure. Frame Control. This identifies the type of wireless frame contains subfields or for protocol version, frame type, address type, power management, and security setting. Duration. This is typically used to indicate the remaining duration needed to receive the next frame transmission. This is usually contains the MAC address, receiving wireless or AP. Address 2. This is usually contain the MAC address for transmitting wireless for AP. Address 3. Sometimes it contains the MAC address to designation such as the router, interface, default gateway, and which is the AP is attached. Next, sequence control. This contains the information to control sequencing and fragmenting frames. Address 4. This is usually missing because it usually owns the ADHOC mode. Payload. This contains the data from transmission. PCS or PCS. This is used for layer 2 error control.
And configuration. So let's start. The wireless router. This wireless router typically provide WLAN security, which is the DHCP services, integrated name address translation or NAT, quality of service QoS, as well as the variety of the other features. The features set in the vary based on the router model. Log into the wireless router. To gain the access of wireless router, configure GUI, open the browser, in the first add field, enter the default IP address for your wireless router. The default IP address can be found in the documentation that came with a wireless router you can search in the internet. The figure shown the IPv4, which is the 192.168.0.1, which is the common default for many manufacturers. A security window prompts in the authorization to access the router GUI. The word admin in the commonly used as the default username and password again. Check your wireless router documentation or search in the internet. These are the basics network setup. Log in into the router from the web browser. Change the default administrative password. Log into the new administrative password. Change the default DHCP IPv4 address. Create a new IP address. Log into the router with the new IP address. Next. Basic wireless setup. View LAN defaults. Change the network mode. Configure the SSID. Configure the channel. Configure the security mode. Configure the passphrase. Configure a wireless mesh network. Extending a WLAN in a small office or home has become increasingly easier. Manufacturer made creating wireless mesh network WMN simple through the smartphone app. You buy a system, disappears the access point and plug in the download app, configure your WMN in a few steps. Search the internet for Wi-Fi mesh network system to find the review offering system. Okay, next. Not for IPv4. The 2091.65.201.11, the IPv4 address is publicly routable on the internet. Any address with the 10 in the first octet is privately IPv4 address and cannot be routed on the internet. Therefore, the router will use process called network address translation or NAT. NAT stands for the network address translation for information. To convert private IPv4 addresses to internet routable IPv4 addresses, the process is reversed for the incoming packets. The router is able to translate many internal IPv4 addresses into public addresses by using NAT, the network address translation. Quality of service. The figure of the simplified mock-up of QoS interface based on the NetGuard GUI, you will usually find the QoS setting in the advanced menu. If your wireless router available, investigate the QoS setting. Sometimes this might be listed under the bandwidth control or something similar. Consult the wireless router, connect documentation, or search for the internet for QoS setting for your router make model. Port of my SRWE summary chapter. So thank you guys for watching and God bless.